All right, everybody. This is Love is Blind, episode 4. Let's see what happens.
I feel very happy that I'm talking with you.
Are you my girlfriend now?
Oh my God, my heart just dropped.
I care about you and love you, and I think...
Oh my God.
Oh, Ben used the L word. So Ben and Sarah are definitely going to get teamed up. So as we know, Sarah has the sister, and I guess we'll see what happens in that regard. Ben reassured her last time that it shouldn't be an issue. And so here we go.
Did I just say what I thought I said?
Yeah, I think you did.
But no, I'm falling in love with you.
I love hearing that from you. Thank you. I think we should talk about some things. Maybe having an idea about politics and like what we think about some controversial things. Like I think that's
Okay. Yes, ma'am. Let's go.
Like, I didn't vote in the last election. Like, as long as I don't know, it's not gonna, do much, so.
That is so annoying.
I'm sorry.
So George Floyd, that obviously hit home because George Floyd happened in Minneapolis. What are your...
Interesting. Okay, what are your thoughts on Black Lives Matter? Yeah, that's interesting. You guys in the comment section had told me that this season is very interesting because the women are very political and the men aren't. I'm getting it now. I also wonder, is this the only season of Love is Blind that went this hard into politics? Last season, there was some mention of Trump, but this season feels like it's all about politics, which makes sense because where they're from is one of the hotspots of political discourse.
Your thoughts on Black Lives Matter?
Like, I'm not one way or another. I just kind of keep out of it.
Oh, Sarah, break up with this man.
I think it's very valuable and important to think about those things. And knowing you, it's not like you're actively like racist.
I feel like saying I don't care one way or another when it comes to BLM. Isn't that kind of, you don't have, because like asking how you feel about Black Lives Matter isn't asking about the organization. The deeper level to that question is, how do you feel about Black lives? Oh, I'm indifferent. I don't go either way. That's what Ben just said. That's what that question should be about. Nobody's here owning, like, who cares about the organization? We care about what the point is, that Black lives do matter. Because we live in a country right now who a lot of people don't think they matter. A lot of people don't think trans lives matter. A lot of people don't think gay lives matter. So the question isn't about the organization.
But I personally believe what happened to George Floyd and everything else that happened, I don't think that's right at all.
Yeah.
What's so important is to speak up for things that are happening around us, right? Like our voice really does matter.
I've just kind of been staying out of it.
I don't like those answers.
Okay, good, Sarah. Ooh, I love her. I don't like those answers, to be honest. She says, great answer. I'm so glad she didn't, I'm glad she was blunt with it.
Be honest.
But
it's okay, and I'm glad you're honest.
Well, it's not okay, but it's okay, but maybe not enough to marry.
I don't want you to lie, but I think it is so easy for us to not have an opinion.
Do you know if you would be able to like marry someone like they're not right next to you, like fully believing everything that you do at this point?
This is why I say high compatibility is about shared values. High compatibility is about morals. High compatibility has got to be the way we see the world and the decision we're going to make while moving in that world.
I love to learn about other viewpoints. As long as there's like a discussion, tell you.
I love to learn about different viewpoints too, but I'm not interested in learning about your homophobia.
Basic human rights, equality. I need someone to be on the same page with me.
Yes,
about that.
ma'am.
I feel like that speaks volumes. And
Look at him being so confused, bro. Look at him processing that he's on Netflix and everyone's about to watch him.
how you think of others.
Yeah, and I do think my beliefs lie more towards like what you're saying and how you...
Just for the record, literal conservatives who vote against your civil rights every opportunity think they're pro-women. People who take away reproductive rights claim they're pro-women. Be careful of people that say they're pro-women but aren't actively like, yes, girl, 100% on the same page. See how he's hesitating?
And I think the best way to look into how I do that is through my actions. I just don't really know how to...
Ooh, through your actions, like the one where you stay away from stuff and don't educate yourself. Look, voting is very personal. And though I encourage you to vote and I vote, I don't always need you to vote the way people vote. Sometimes I vote just locally. Sometimes I don't focus on the president, which is only once. Biden and Trump was the only election where I didn't vote for a presidential candidate, but I voted locally, right? Every other election, I voted in this last election, I voted for Harris. Like, you know, it's not perfect. As a progressive, I'm not excited about Harris, but at the same time, it's better than Trump. And there's a lot of good in Harris that I think gets us closer to our focus, right? So I would say that he can be unorthodox. He can be unique. A lot of progressives have unique ways of dealing with the system, but he's not in that direction. He's in the other direction. And going closer to centrist or right is always a red flag.
Teaching people like fundamental values, I can't teach that.
Exactly.
I just got a girlfriend.
Break up with your boyfriend.
It's like,
Do you feel like he can like evolve in that?
I know,
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
It's more of a thing that I would just like show you, like if we were dating, like you would be able to see in me.
Well, this is why I say women are community builders. AFAB people, community builders. Like there is a tradition in communities, white, black, whatever, where women are really the backbone of community for a reason. Because they do educate themselves. They do evolve. That's why it's so painful to see conservative women deny themselves accessibility to information because they want to stand by their husbands. It's like, girls, please. And I know this is a very like binary way to have the conversation. It's just like overall where it's landed. And even in queer communities, gay men are talking about how they have to pay attention to abortion rights because at the end of the day, like abortion rights are gay rights. Gay people get abortions. Like gay rights, abortion rights, all of it is the same. Our communities are universally impacted. Transphobia impacts transphobic communities. They just don't realize it's impacting them because they don't have the foresight. They don't think about it.
I just couldn't stop thinking about what you told me. Then I woke up and I started to feel that I am here in this with you.
Okay, Madison and Mason. So they just went to the boys' lounge before this, and the boys were talking and sharing about like, oh, my girl's down to 2 different guys. And then someone's like, oh my God, my girl's down to 2 different guys. And they're like, wait, are we, because the guys haven't shared who they're with. So all the guys are still guessing. And Mason and Alex were kind of like, you know, together at the dinner table or breakfast table, I guess, in this instance. And so the boys are like they still don't know. And so then they switch into this scene where Madison and Alex are now having their date. And I'm sorry, oh my gosh, Madison and Mason are now having their date. And Mason is saying, I'm here with you in this, you know, so let's see what happens.
And I honestly want to trust my feelings and my gut. And every time I think about you, that's where they are.
Oh, I'm as shocked as her. Look at her. Look at Madison's face. I'm as shocked as her. Okay, well, will she turn him down?
You are the person that I'm thinking about.
I feel like that very elusive.
Elusive.
Okay, let me be more clear then. I am committed to you.
Ooh. Okay, I don't know how that was elusive. Maybe because he didn't say, will you marry me? But you know what I mean? Like, girl. Okay, so he spelled it out. I'm committed to you. Oh, she's not happy. Was she stringing along Mason? What is this fish face? What did she think was going to happen after the talk the other night?
Do you feel like I put an ultimatum on you?
Definitely not. There was no pressure.
I didn't expect like you to come to any conclusion, but I appreciate you affirming me in that way. Yeah.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh, rip to Mason. Rip to Mason. Oh my God. Whoa. That was a rejection, sir. I don't like that. So basically, if he had gone on down on one knee and proposed, would she have accepted it?
Okay. I appreciate you receiving it so well.
Do you think it's the editing? Did this happen at a... Maybe it's the editing where I know we're in the pods for like 6 episodes, which is crazy, by the way. So I know that maybe this is filmed at a point where it makes sense for her not to just say, let's pick each other. But at this point, it's like, pick me or don't. But Mason just said no to Meg, basically. And she knows that now. I kind of feel bad for Meg, my little conspiracy theorist.
I feel like you're holding your cards closed. So like, what do you feel about us right now?
This whole experiment is just crazy to me.
Yeah.
Because we are out here dating other people.
I know.
I feel like our connection is, it doesn't have to be put in words. I mean, it's crazy how similar we are. It's crazy.
I know.
I mean, there's no one who I've been able to have conversations with like this.
Pourquoi? What is happening? Okay, so Meg and Mason are now together. They're eating Pop-Tarts, which, by the way, I so miss Pop-Tarts. If I could get a Pop-Tart here in Croatia, I'm thinking about making homemade Pop-Tarts. That's besides the point. So they just met up. He's basically giving her compliments. She asked, how do you feel about us? And he is basically showering her with compliments. I've never conversed with somebody this way. Like, you can't say these things to a girl when you just committed to somebody else.
But if there's ever a time where like you are connecting more like strongly with someone else, I really would hope that I would hear it from you instead of just like you not showing up one day.
Ooh.
That's the best thing you could ever say to me. If
He better bring it up.
there's ever any questions you have for me, like about us, ask me. I think you are a genuinely beautiful person.
Is this timing? Did they edit in a way to convince me that the editing is out of sync? He just said he's committed to Madison.
I mean, that's why I'm here right now, hanging out with you. This is the best thing.
Why is this just working out too perfect?
Oh, God.
It's just one of the many crazy things right now.
Okay, so they don't have the conversation. I don't know the timing of this edit. I don't know when this took place, but Meg thinks they're still vibing.
Wow, we're all leaving engaged, guys.
Yeah.
Would you look at that?
So Meg just came into the girls' lounge saying, oh my God, we're all leaving engaged. And then Madison and another girl were whispering to each other like, yeah.
This guy, like, the girl that, like, he's talking to, she comes in, she's just very, like, verbal about it, and, like, whatever. And, like,
So Madison is hesitating about a Mason because of how enthusiastic Meg has been, which is fair. How can you trust Mason to say I'm committed to you if when Meg comes in, she's reassured that Mason likes her, unless this editing is out of sync? Okay, so Madison and Alex just walked into their date. He surprised her with her favorite snacks. She was very excited to see him, very warm. And now they're talking about dream houses because Alex is in the market to buy a house.
I don't need anything, like, super big. I want, like, art everywhere.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah. Have you ever been in love before?
I have. Yeah. Have you?
I don't think so. I think I've loved people, but I've never, like, been with someone and, like, pictured my future with them. And
I think that's a good distinction. I only count in love as people where I tried to picture a future with them. If I didn't try to picture a future with you, then, like, I wasn't in love with you. I was just dating you where I loved you, but I wasn't in love with you. And so that's how I count my relationships. Like, how many times have you been in love? I count it with the people who I really, like, thought we had a future together.
you know what I'm realizing? I'm so fulfilled in every other area of my life, like my career, my friends, and I'm just ready to, like, share that with someone.
I feel like yesterday we were talking about like some of the issues that you have, and like I didn't want to come off like too harsh, you know, and seem like I was running away. I accept you for who you are, and I will be there to help you and support you.
So they've been talking about love and falling in love, and it's very warm and love. Like, obviously Madison's going to pick Alex. I will say somebody in my comment section did spoil something about Alex. So I have it in the back of my head now, which means I can't judge the show fairly anymore because now everything he says is tainted with a thing that was spoiled in my comment section, which is a little annoying. I haven't looked into it. Maybe the commenter's wrong, but I think it's true because I keep seeing now on my feed all the receipts about Alex, but I haven't looked at them yet. So now I look at him with tainted glasses because you know what I mean? Versus before, if I had seen this, I would have thought, oh, Alex is so loving and supportive. This is nice. So now we're both tainted. If you haven't seen that comment, there's something about Alex that apparently is really bad. At least by the commenter, it is really bad. And we don't know it yet. So kind of a bummer, but here we are.
I walked into my first date this morning. I heard their voice and I was like, oh, it's not Alex.
Okay, so Madison just confirmed that Alex is the second date of the day, which means Mason did come first.
Not into it. And so I think I was trying to give it like some time to figure out if it was like a connection or just a friend. And I think he might just be a friend. I know what I want.
Okay.
And it is you.
Wow. Okay. Madison has declared her interest in Alex. Very bold. Love that. There's copyrighted music in this, so I'll probably not be able to show you. But she said, if this progresses forward, is that something you're ready for? And he said, yes. So basically, he said, will you be my girlfriend? And she said, yeah.
The person I have to break up with is Mason.
Oh, Madison just shared that her other person was Mason.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No.
Why do you say that?
Mason's cool. I really like him.
I feel a little bad just because of some things he said to me this morning, and I just like was really unsure. You hear those things from the right person, and you get super giddy.
Well, we'll deal with that later.
Oh.
Tomorrow.
Okay, so basically she just explained that, like, you know, it was kind of hard to hear Mason declare some stuff, and it made her feel bad versus, you know, her and Alex are giddy together and they're happy. So she'll have to explain that to Mason on their next date, I guess. Now, in past episodes of Love is Blind, if somebody like Mason would get rejected and there was a Meg, he would be with Meg, which has happened in the past, and I'm curious if it's going to happen this season.
I think they're cheering your date on. What happened to your date? Are you crying?
Oh. So Alex walked into the boys section and they all cheered for him. He said, I have a girlfriend, and the girls could hear it. And then Madison walks in and the girls are like, oh, I think they're cheering your date. But then someone says, are you crying? And she said, no. And she's laughing.
Crying?
No.
Yeah, you are.
I have a boyfriend, you guys.
Oh, no way. What?
His name's Alex.
Oh my God, what? Go. Congrats.
Keep it on the down low though, because I do have to break up with someone else.
She's breaking up with my guy. That's the girl who makes it.
Oh, Meg, no. Okay, so Meg knows. So Meg is like, she has to break up with my guy. So Meg is like excited probably, but she doesn't know Mason committed to Madison. Oh no. Oh no.
I knew that. I think I
I knew that too. For a long time I've known that.
Are you engaged?
No. I just have a boyfriend. He was like, do you want to be my girlfriend?
She's like, well, I think the other person, so I think I'm gonna end it. And I was
Oh, the show, so it's kind of, oh, okay. I know it's the name of the game, but oh, feelings.
like, does that mean you'll be my girlfriend? Get out of town.
But Mason doesn't know that Alex is with Madison, right? So he's laughing and smiling and happy for him, but he doesn't know it's with Madison.
Guys, now I don't know what to do though, because if she's like, okay, Mason, I have a boyfriend, I gotta go. And then he's like, okay, I'll pick Meg. No.
No.
Oh, so Meg doesn't want to be second choice, which is smart.
There's no way I'll know now, because like,
Yeah.
I hate it. There's no way.
Yeah, she'll never know if Mason was going to pick her, except we do know because he said he's committed to Madison, and that's how we know.
No person that you have to break up with, and I feel awful. I feel absolutely awful. This is number one. He's walking in right now.
Dang.
Yeah. All right. Dude.
Congratulations.
Oh, thanks.
I'm fucking happy for you, dude.
Oh, I love you, man. That's straight out of a TV show.
I know, right?
The guys are talking, and Alex is like, oh man, I know who she has to break up with. He's walking in right now. And then, what's his name? Hold on. I'm blanking on names right now. Devin. Devin goes, oh man, this is like straight out of a TV show. You are on a TV show, Devin. You are on a TV show. It really is right out of a TV show, and you're on it, girl. So Mason's coming in to congratulate him, basically.
What a feeling, all right?
It is. Yeah, on top of the world.
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
The other variables, the other people, it's really tough.
I know.
Brittany and Devin are having their date, and she's just saying it's getting pretty intense, and there's a lot of feelings. And Devin has reassured her that he would have broken up with her already if he didn't see a future with her, which, you know, it's hard because I don't know where they are in this dating process. He also is got a connection with Virginia. And so we'll see probably Virginia after this date, I'm assuming. And if I had to make a bet based off of how the editing is going, I'm going to say he's going to pick Virginia because they're not giving Brittany enough airtime. And since they're giving Virginia so much compared to Brittany, I feel like he's going to choose Virginia.
Basketball player my whole life. Senior year of high school, my back started to get really bad. I started to feel like shooting like pain down my legs, and like my feet would be numb, and I don't care how bad it hurts, I'm not gonna stop. We tried every treatment possible, took 2 ibuprofen before practice, and I doubled it, it was 4. So then it turned from 4 to 8 to 12 to 16 to 20.
Devin just said that they were in a lot of pain at one point, realized they wouldn't be able to play ball, but they tried to move through the pain by using drugs, which is so typical. It's very common. Even I have fibromyalgia, and on my very, very bad days, I take an ibuprofen, and it's amazing how you feel. And I try to keep ibuprofen down to the very bare minimum, you know, maybe once or twice a month, you know. But sometimes you really need it to get through. Like sometimes I do need to take it to be able to even stream. You know, otherwise I'm just thinking about how much pain I'm in, which is also why I'm so excited that this dairy-free kind of plant-based diet is really working for me. It's really helping the pain come down. Haven't needed a ibuprofen, which is really exciting. But Devin was explaining how he was dealing with real pains in his back, like a numbness in his feet, like so bad he couldn't get out of bed. So, I mean, that's why, painkillers are so difficult to deal with, because the addiction is just like the possibility for addiction is high. But my heart goes out to him all the same. To crush your dream, like to accept your dream is crushed, or to take a pain reliever, especially one that's so commonly like accessible. I understand the temptation, right?
But I just would wake up every morning and be like, what's the point?
Oh, Brittany and him they're crying together, and they're really bonding on this idea because, Brittany played basketball as well. And, you really love something when it's so important to you, realizing you're not going to be able to do the thing you love every day. It's like a devastating experience, like what a devastating experience. Wow.
If I can't do what I love, what's the point of even going through life?
You know what? He might choose Brittany just because she really understands this. Virginia, though lovely, doesn't understand basketball. There was a scene that I didn't put in my edit, I think, for one of the videos where he put a little basketball hoop in her room and he had a basketball hoop in his. And she kind of made a joke like, I'm going to leave the hooping to you because I don't do hooping. And so basically he tried to bond with her, but she didn't engage in the bonding. And so Brittany understands basketball the way he understands it. Like Virginia is a fan of basketball, but Brittany plays basketball. Brittany loves basketball in a way that is just so different. So I think this is a possibility now that Devin might choose Brittany because of that connection. It's a big connection.
I didn't want anyone to feel sorry for me or like pity me. So I never told anybody about it.
Whoa.
That's when I just started turning to God and praying and trying to figure out how I could get myself healed. I just told myself, maybe you should go to the doctor one more time. He told me I had a condition where my femur bones were rubbing against my pelvic bone and causing pain. So then I ended up having surgeries on both my hips.
Whoa.
And all the pain went away.
Oh, okay.
I firmly believe that if I didn't put my trust in God, I don't think it would have turned out the same way that it did.
I don't believe in a God, but I'm glad his relationship with God led him to the doctor. So you can thank the doctor for that. But also I get that you want to thank God for it, but you could also thank the doctor. You know what I'm saying? But okay.
And now I can play basketball.
Nice.
And I'm just like a happy person.
Okay.
Abusing the medicine, still kind of feel ashamed of doing. But I'm happy because it brought me to where I am today. And it helped me develop a closer relationship with God when I feel like I was losing that relationship.
Okay, I'm not moved by the religious aspect of it, but I am moved by his ability to use science to heal himself and then find a relationship back with his passion. That's really great.
There's no reason for you to ever be ashamed. No reason. And this is something that you had to go through, Devin, in order to become who you are. We all go through things that we need assistance with. Nothing is perfect in anyone's world.
I appreciate you. I knew if I told you that I wouldn't get any judgment.
No judgment either. I think it's actually so much more common, his story, than we'd believe. So many people I know take ibuprofen multiple times daily just to manage to get through life. Like, as much as we want to look down on them, people don't feel like they have options. So I think it's, there's just nothing to judge him. He didn't do anything worth judging. I'm happy that I'm happy he feels better.
Definitely feel like I can tell you just about anything.
Okay, Brittany's about to tell a story too. And I will say, obviously, health-wise, I don't want you popping ibuprofens, but that's not the same thing as people who don't know what to do, doing what they think they have to, versus, people making bad decisions. Like, he made a decision that wasn't the healthiest, but he eventually made it right. So
I feel like I've been programmed to kind of be ashamed. Even with some of my best friends, I had a really good life, but through college and after college more so, I realized things about my sexuality.
Oh, okay, girl. Somebody in my comment section said, you're so right on Brittany more than you know. And I was like, she's gay. Okay, let's go.
I've had a few experiences throughout my life, and the last experience that I just had just opened my eyes up to other possibilities as well. And granted, I've never seen myself dating or being with a woman seriously. The young lady that I was with, she can see that. She's like, I thought, we may be married.
So is he the kind of Christian that is homophobic is the next question, or a religious person? Actually, he said God, but I don't know if he meant Christian God or not.
And I'm like, I know that you're an awesome person, but I don't know if that's me marrying a female. You know what I'm saying?
Interesting. So she had an experience that made her question whether or not she really could pick a woman and not be with a man, which is a conversation you definitely have to have with yourself. This is also a very common conversation that's had in queer communities over feeling comfortable and secure enough that your female partner, let's say, for the sake of this conversation, won't, quote, want or need a man. This is very important. Obviously, regardless of the gender of my partner, I did not marry my partner for their gender technically. Like, I'm not thinking to myself as a pansexual person, like, oh, how can I be with you when I want to be with this gender? Like, that's not how I think. But for a lot of people that are more in the binary way of being, sometimes, or even me, I get the question like, oh, do you ever miss being with X gender? No, because I'm not with people because of their gender. But when I was, before I had deconstructed gender in a more deep way, I did in my mind fall into that trap of thinking, well, if I'm with a guy, I might miss a girl. And if I'm with a girl, I might miss a guy. But when I further deconstructed gender, I realized it's about loving the consciousness, not the body that they inhabit, right?
This is what I envision my life being. This is what I want. So
she was saying she was ready to be with you, but you didn't see it.
Exactly.
You had the one experience?
I've had a few experiences.
Love her. Love that.
Never have I felt like I want to marry or be with any, you know?
You don't see marriage with a woman, you see it with a man.
Yes, for me, for sure.
I think if she deconstructed, I don't think that would be the case. She had multiple relationships with women. Feels like a closeted bisexual girl to me.
Friends that are married, that are lesbian, that are bisexual, that are everything, you know? And we have to now, of course, put labels on these things, but
it's... Wait, girl, that's some internalized homophobia right there. But I love Brittany. So as a Brittany to a Brittany, I feel like if she deconstructed, she'd probably realize she's just like a bisexual girl. But also, this is why, as a person who knew she was queer or gay as a young kid, like a child, prepubescent, this is why older people come out as gay, because they go through this journey. And I grew up super religious, but I knew. See, the dilemma is that I never had to go through the stage of this. I knew as a kid, and then I internalized all of that shame and guilt and like facing hell stuff as a kid, right? Which is where my therapist thinks the BPD came from. Like this abandonment of like, oh my gosh, I'm gay. Like I'm gay and I know I'm gay, you know? So Brittany going through this journey now is interesting. I think if she further deconstructed, she'd definitely be bisexual.
I love and accept them for who they are, who they are, and I love their partners. But for me,
I'm curious about Devin. He's giving hesitation around gay people vibes.
You know, and what I envision my life to be, that's not necessarily what I want, you know?
Do you feel like you still have interest in women or no?
I think that people are beautiful altogether. Like after going through this experience, I realized that it's really just about the person that I connect with and the person that I'm with.
That's the gayest thing. That's the most pansexual thing I've ever heard. Pansexual queen right here. Devin is giving, I just shared something vulnerable with you. You're sharing something vulnerable with me, except her vulnerability might be too much for him. So we'll see.
Trust to love me through it all, right?
I don't know. I just feel like if you have the attraction to the woman, I don't know if you're saying that you're not interested anymore. I don't know if you, like, is that how you're feeling? Like you're not interested in women anymore, or do you feel like you still are?
No, I feel like the person that I'm with is the person that I'm with.
Pansexual queen right here. Yes, I agree. I love her. She is saying, that's so fun. I get why he's confused, because she's saying, I don't see myself with a woman, but now she's saying, it's probably the editing. She's saying, but I see myself with the person I'm in love with. So what she's saying is she just wasn't into that girl.
I've always been monogamous, right? Okay, so whoever I'm with, that's who I'm with. That's just what it is. You know?
Do you think the editing made it sound like she was implying that she wasn't into women, period? Or maybe it was the way that we all heard it.
It makes me feel better knowing that if you're with me, you're just going to be with me. Well, I do appreciate you for being able to be transparent.
He's gonna choose Virginia. He won't choose Brittany, but I choose Brittany. I love her.
I feel like it's a lot for me to process, because I think it's just because I've never like been with someone that has been with like the same sex.
Ooh, ask him about raising gay kids. This is why we ask people. This is why Brittany also said, I love my gay friends and family. See how she doesn't identify as gay, but she was saying, I love anybody regardless of their, basically who they are, like their gender. But she feels it. She knows she's being rejected. I feel he's rejecting her, and I think she's better than him. Devin seemed nice and everything, but Brittany deserves better.
But it doesn't change how I feel for you as a person, and that I think that you're an amazing person. I don't know if that matters. It's definitely something to think about.
For sure.
For me.
I've never said some of these words to anyone ever in my life. I'm not gonna lie, it would have been very comforting to hear on your side, like, oh, that don't matter. You know, like, oh, I don't care. But
oh, thank you for saying that. Because same. And now all of us know. I'm concerned that if he had queer children, he wouldn't love them. Or he wouldn't connect with them. Let me rephrase. Because I think you can love your queer kids, but I think there's a deconstruction we all have to have, right? And love is a spectrum of nuance. So I'm not sure that he would be cruel to his children, but would he consider it a lifestyle that he has to move them away from?
at the same time, I have to understand and respect your perspective.
Right. I'm not saying that it's gonna be something where I'm like, you know what, nope. Like I wasn't ready to hear what I heard.
Right.
So I'm just processing it and trying to really understand what you're saying.
Ugh, that went rough. I love Brittany. I want the best for her.
I don't know how I feel about it. I just gotta think about what she told me and if that matters.
Like in the past, like I've dated women and it was his reaction. It wasn't necessarily what I wanted to hear.
I would like to leave here with Devin, so it makes it very complicated, right? But that really doesn't have anything to do with me. You know what I mean?
So the boys' lounge, Devin was telling Alex how he was feeling about Brittany. The girl lounge, Brittany was telling the girls how she was feeling about Devin and dating women. And then Virginia, instead of reacting in solidarity for Brittany's queerness or gayness or bisexualness or pansexualness, reacted with, I would like to leave here with Devin. See, Devin automatically became icky to me the moment I saw the homophobia. I was like, no, Devin is sweet, but that's homophobia. Absolutely not, Devin. Sorry.
They have like a basketball connection. I feel like that's a lot of basketball for one house anyways. I don't secretly want to like trip her in the hallway or anything like that.
I hope Brittany, or no, not Brittany, I love her. I hope Virginia and Devin are happy together.
Well, I feel like Britt's amazing, but I feel like our personalities are pretty different.
There's just been a lot of emotions going on. Anything that needs to come out on the table should happen within these next 2 days.
It's a lot.
It is a lot.
I'm kind of shy.
Okay.
And I feel like I say stuff to people, even if it's like funny stuff or whatever, once I'm comfortable with them.
Virginia, you know the next step is like engaged in marriage. So I need to know everything about you.
Yeah. My examples of love outside of like my grandparents haven't been very healthy. I don't want to keep choosing the wrong guy in the wrong situation.
So you're going to choose the guy who's homophobic?
They say things and then they're like, I've absolutely never said that. They've picked me apart.
So do you feel like because of all those situations that you've kind of closed off and that's why you've been single?
I think in general, I'm not quick to jump into things. I don't necessarily open up right away. I've gotten away with that for a really long time.
Virginia and Devin are talking about past relationships, and she feels like she's been gaslit and mistreated by her past partners and doesn't jump into relationships very quickly. And that makes a lot of sense to me. She also sounds like Taraji P. Henson. I noted that, like, if I close my eyes, I might even think that's Taraji. I think it's the accent. I never processed. But, like, doesn't she kind of sound like her if you close your eyes?
Like, I've dated, I've been dating.
Yeah.
But I don't really put much effort into it. It's very much like I enjoy people pursuing me because I don't have to be vulnerable.
I can see why this experience has been so hard.
Oh my God, I got to sell myself? Now I got to beg this man to pick me? No, just kidding.
Beg?
This is exhausting.
You don't have to beg.
So basically, Devin told Virginia the same story he told Brittany about the basketball and ibuprofen. They're bonding, they're crying together. There's a lot of emotionality. I'm assuming he's going to choose Virginia, but here we are.
Thing with marriage, like I feel like you sign up for life. It's not gonna be 100% easy. It'll be fun because you're doing life with your partner, but what happens when your partner falls? Like, do you pray with me?
Okay, so now they're going to have the religious overlap versus Brittany engaging in gay relationships. Might tell Devin that she's not where he wants her to be religiously. So these two homophobic people can be married together and we can leave Brittany alone. I love her. She's the only one I care about now. Okay? Just from a Brittany to a Brittany. Honestly, I would have loved to have married a Brittany. It would have been so fun. It would have been so great. We would have been like those like Taylor Lautner and Taylor, you know what I mean?
I need somebody who's gonna pray with me.
That's all I want. I want to be able to pray.
Yeah.
Okay, they're really bonding on the religion thing. I hope they're happy.
We could hear you guys cheering after Madison and Alex came out. We were just curious because she hadn't broken it off with another person yet.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
I'm staying out of that conversation.
Yeah.
One thing I do regret, I guess, was in a lot of like the speed dating.
Yeah.
I was like, so what's wrong with you? In like a joking way. Some of the girls were kind of confused if I was serious or not.
So Dave and Molly are having their date, and she talked about how they could hear the cheering for Alex and Madison. She also brought up how Madison still has to break up with another person, and Dave's like, I'm staying out of it, because Dave also still has to make his choice with the two girls, Lauren or Molly. And then basically Dave is saying one of the things he regrets is kind of like the way he opened up the call, the dates with a little bit of negging. And the girls were confused on whether or not he was serious or not. It doesn't matter. Your type of humor says something about you, at least in a public space where you're being filmed on Netflix. Like, this isn't a private space where no one's going to hear it. This is a public space on Netflix. You are signaling to the universe your reputation. You just gave the whole world your resume, and it's not looking good, Dave.
Did I ask you?
No, I didn't get that one.
Like, that's just being me.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, Lauren, he was like, oh, you're 30. We better have a kid. You're getting old, or something like that. And then with Molly, I don't know if he made any of those jokes with Molly.
I've been like speaking very highly of you to the guys that do know that I'm dating you. Like, I have 2 left, and they're like, are you getting any pressure to like end things or like only focus on one? And I'm like, honestly, no. Maybe I should be worried because you've been way too cool about it. But like, no, you've been very like communicative about like, no, figure your shit out.
Yeah.
Even though I'm your only one left, like you have not put any pressure on me.
Just something to be said about Dave's demeanor. If you're this sure, why aren't you picking her? But also, I don't know. I'm not in this situation. I don't know what I would do. I can understand people wanting to see it through to the end. I do get that. But also, I get it. Like, at the end of the day, this is a really silly premise as a show. Marriage or, breaking up is so silly. Like, realistically, this is not going to work for most people. I mean, regular dating doesn't even work for most people. So, there's some parts of the show that make it, I want to empathize with the contestants about why they're waiting so long. And then other parts where I'm like, just pick which one. And then I get it. It's whatever. Okay.
Like our relationship, but at least I can expect is my person to want me the most. So I'm not worried about it.
Good. I mean, I feel like I've gotten further along in this experiment than I ever have regular dating.
Same.
I've never really like felt like this before. And I don't care what other people think about it. Like, it's my life. I get to do what I want to do. And they can take it however they take it.
Okay, so Molly just finished her date with Dave. They were really just like comforting each other and I think reassuring each other. And now Molly's back in the girl lounge.
Oh. Hi, how was it? Good. It was really good. Yeah.
At this point, I am here for Dave. I don't have other connections. It's just him. But like, it's been really hard to like not be in my head about everything. I can't like hear about him blatantly being so all in with someone else and still be all in myself. So I do feel like I just need space between me and Molly for the day. I was in last night and she's like, my number one told me I was his number one. My first reaction is like, I don't think he did.
Uh-oh, so now Lauren is doubting everything. Is Molly lying? Because Molly's saying Dave tells Molly, you're my number one. But Lauren's like, well, how could he say that when we're having such a connection? This is what I'm saying about Mason telling Madison that he's committed, but then hanging out with Meg and saying like, I've never had conversations with anyone like this.
Like, is she interpreting things differently? Like, I just don't really know.
Yeah.
And it's interesting. So Lauren is putting the responsibility on Molly. Is Molly misinterpreting Dave instead of thinking, is Dave two-timing? Are these men miscommunicating / on purpose leading the girls on?
Like, also don't really know if she knows that I know.
Yeah.
Because if she does know that, then like, that's super manipulative on her part.
See, Lauren is still confused on whether Molly knows she knows. But that's the problem. It's like, you could ask her. See what happens when you center your life around a man? All these girls had to do was talk to each other. Because now she's thinking Molly's being conniving and manipulative. Molly knows that Dave is my number one. So Molly comes in happy after her date because she knows. Molly doesn't know. Molly's just happy. But the fact that Lauren knows, because Molly trusted and said, I can be transparent. I'm confident. This is who I'm into. And Lauren didn't do the same. I'm sorry, but like, that's a bad character flaw in Lauren.
We're here to make multiple connections, and like making multiple connections and then having you come to me and say like, hey, I made these connections and I still pick you.
Yeah.
I will take that like all day long.
Yeah.
However, there's a difference between that and then telling someone else that they're the only reason that you're here. Like you can only trust him so much.
No,
you know?
for sure.
If he talks to me like that and talks to her like that, then he's like a really good manipulator
Okay.
and liar. But I just like.
Okay, finally. I'm glad that Lauren is suspicious of Dave, that he could be a manipulator and a liar. But she said, knowing Dave, I don't think he's...
Knowing Dave, I don't think he's like...
I don't think so.
Oh, Sarah said, knowing Dave, I don't think he's like that. And then Lauren said he doesn't seem manipulative. Ooh, and I'm commenting, like pausing a lot because Netflix edits, like it copyrights my video. So I'm trying to add in enough commentary to make it realize I'm not trying to steal their content. But okay, interesting.
Doesn't seem like manipulative.
No.
And also, what does Sarah know about manipulation when she's saying yes to Ben, who gave her the wrong answer about gay people and Black lives?
He's like trying to figure this out. And like, obviously I'm glad he's doing that. But I just really, I need to know like who's being more Delulu here, me or her?
Yeah.
Ooh, who's being more Delulu here, me or her? Neither, it's Dave. Molly and Lauren have no reason to doubt what Dave's telling them. Dave's the one who's telling them both things. I just think it's so fascinating that Lauren, the girl with the fuck the patriarchy tattoo, is engaging in internalized misogyny. She is blaming and putting the responsibility on her or Molly being delusional. Man, this episode is chock full of racism, misogyny, homophobia. Ooh.
I'm unsure about who else he's seeing. I thought he had Sarah. But then
See, Molly just told Virginia, I'm confused on who Dave is seeing. I thought Dave was seeing Sarah, but I don't know who his other person is.
Sarah was like, oh no, I actually didn't see him. I had mentioned to Lauren, and then, so I think Lauren's the only other person.
Yeah. So Molly thinks Lauren's the only other person based off of elimination. Okay.
He's going to end it with her. Oh, which makes me feel so bad.
Oh, so Dave is saying, Dave communicated to Molly that he's going to end it with Lauren, which makes sense. They have a stronger connection, Dave and Molly.
Your other girlfriend, Molly, came into the lounge and like very proudly talked about how you told her that she was your #1 connection here.
Ooh, good for you, Lauren.
Man.
I don't know why she phrased it like that, like your girlfriend, Molly, but I'm glad that she just said it.
#1, did you say that? And #2, if that's how you feel, then I don't need to be here.
Oh, man.
I haven't said a single thing to Molly, and I honestly like don't know if Molly knows that it's me that is also talking to you.
This is what I didn't want to happen, is like get caught up in like the girl drama.
He said that's, he said that's what I didn't want to happen, to get caught up in the girl drama. You are the drama, Dave. You are the drama. Dump him, Lauren. Dump him, Molly.
I don't think it's girl drama. You need to just figure out what you want.
Exactly. Okay, Lauren, let's go. Fuck the patriarchy.
I wish we would have like talked about this before right now.
What?
This light is fading.
Okay, Netflix is going to pause it right there. Of course, we're not going to find out till the next episode, which we will get to. But my closing thoughts are, fuck Dave, fuck the patriarchy, fuck Ben and his homophobia, fuck Ben and his racism. Who else? Fuck Devin and his homophobia. Fuck all of them. Shout out to all the girls on this show. I hope you all end up together in a harem of beautiful, beautiful women. That's it. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.
In my head, in real life I'm in bed, my belly's being fed and I'm okay. I'm just fine, yet all I do is whine, not to you in my mind, cause I know I don't make sense. I've been nothing but blessed, so why's my life a mess? Please tell me, cause I'm sick of thinking, yeah, I'm sick of reaching out for the truth and living life as a fool. Then